Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and this is like cardboard from it's like an insert or something, like something from a board game. I'm going to use this to cut up to make a base, and board game boxes, board games themselves are all good candidates for what I use for bases. So I'm just going to take a piece here. I'm going to cut out a kind of shape I can use to do some things and stuff. I'm going to round off those corners a little bit. And I have this, what is this anyways? Minced garlic thing. And I thought this would be cool, like a cool oil tank or something maybe? I don't know. Some kind of tank on the surface in the future. So, I'm not sure how I want to do this. Maybe make this the top and I can put something on top there to, maybe something like that. I don't know. I have this. It's from a shampoo bottle. It's got an interesting shape. Anyway, you know what I mean. I'm going to do something like that. So, not a sponsor, but man, I love their beer. Let me see something. I don't know. Let's see if my glue gun's hot though. And if it is, oh, I need a glue stick. Oh, I'm getting dangerously low on glue sticks. I'm down to like my last 5 or 10 here. I didn't think that was going to happen anytime soon. Okay, and once we get that on there, kind of like that, should be pretty sturdy forever. Let's get a little bit down here, and we'll stick it on there. We'll aim it back in the corner so that we can have pieces moving around on here. And I kind of want to put that on there. Let me see if I can. Okay. So, something like that maybe. We need some connector pieces and some tubes and stuff, so I'm going to look for some straws. There's a straw. And the ones that have the bendy are really good for stuff like this because, pardon me, you can kind of, snip something like that and mount it on like that. It kind of just does what you want it to. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue on the end there, a little bit of glue on the bottom. I'm going to stick that there in place, just like that. That'll be sharp looking for what we need it to be. Now we can cut some more pieces of this pipe and make them do some other stuff. So I'm going to get mine. I'm going to stick it here like that, straight up and down. I have these little counting blocks. I think would look nice here. So I'm going to put my little counting block on there. I'm just going to get a dab of glue. I'm going to stick my counting block directly on it. Whoa, whoa. Not like that though. Like that. Kind of in the middle. Okay. Then I need a little slip to put in the middle there. Something really tiny. Oh, hell. It's not behaving. It is burning me, however. Okay. There we go. A little bit on the side, a little on the bottom. Let's shove that on there in such a way that it sticks, hopefully this time. All right. It's okay if it's a little wonky and crazy. It won't hurt nothing. Okay. And I want like a kind of an overflow piece coming out the top. So I'm just going to twist this around and get as much contact space as I can. Leave that there. Now, I don't know if you have any of these. I don't know if I have any of these. Where the hell are they? Ugh. These things were from some kind of like tube puzzle at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. And, oh, my spout fell right down. Of course it did. And I think that would be cool to have something like that on there. But because of the height, I don't know how that's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount it to the top. And I'm going to leave that little thing on it. I'm going to squirt some hot glue in there. And let it just kind of fall down and stick. Alright, so everything looks like it's kind of how I want it to go. I'm going to get a little piece of cardstock here. I'm going to glue that right down on the base just to give it some flair. Woo! Old reference. I know. Okay. Something like that. Now this probably needs a lot of work to hold paint, I'm guessing, because all this is like that shiny plastic. But that's okay, because I plan on burning and melting and ruining this in some ways. Like this thing doesn't work quite like the way it was designed. See how it kind of and it just kind of bends in and bows and gets worked little weird shapes from the heat. Nothing perfect, nothing extravagant. And then you can just kind of give it some little details that'll stick out and be interesting. And I'm just getting little pieces of cardstock to do that. Okay, let's get this up on a piece of, not a piece of, but a paint lid. Let's paint it up. I think a couple studs would look cool on here. So to do that, I'm getting a piece of cardboard, a little bit of super glue. You could cut little tiny squares out of cardstock or use little beads or whatever you have. I have these little, I don't know what they're called. They're for painting, doing these little gem paintings that my wife and mom do. And they always have leftovers. So for me, something like this always looks just how I need it to. Now, when you're trying to center them, or put 3 in a row like that, what I kind of do is I do the outside ones, and I kind of put like a middle one, and then if I wanted to put more, I would center them between the two, so it kind of keeps like that distance the way you'd want it to go. But I'm sure you'll find little tricks or ways that you like to do it. I'm just going to put that up there. I'm going to put one somewhere else. Because I do like these, and once I have them out, I kind of enjoy playing with them. I'll put it up there. Okay. Sweet. You don't want to leave that laying around, or you're going to put your finger in it, or your whole hand in it, or something horrible that I normally would do with it. Sorry, it is like 92 degrees in here. Wipe sweat off my face. All right, we're going to spray paint this now. I'm going to hit it with flat black. Oh, this is almost empty. And then I'm going to hit it with primer red, which is actually a brown, just real quick, so it has some variation and looks a little fancy. There we go. Let's bring it back and take a look at it. Whoop, 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 something like that. That's fireworks you hear. My entire family's at the fireworks right now. I don't go to fireworks actually, so I've had enough things blowing up around that I just don't enjoy them. And even though I'm locked in my house safely, they're still making all kind of noise, aren't they? I'm just going to let that go on there, and hopefully that'll cool down and stick. And let's get a piece of cardboard and make a plan for paint. So I'm going to use metallic brown, reddish brown, and gray. I need to buy more of this chocolate metallic. Actually, I need more of this chocolate bar too. And I have a whole nother one of these grays, so if there's not enough in here, I'm not sweating it. It's very bubbly. All right, that's empty. I'm setting that down in there so I'll remember to get more. I won't, but it's nice to think I will. I'm gonna get a brush, some water, and that metallic brown. I'm gonna hit the majority of the surfaces. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be kind of, a lot of it is that. And there they go with their grand finale, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much money my hometown has for fireworks. They apparently have no water to fix their shitty water department. Hey, what do I know? They keep saying they're autonomous. They're autonomous. They can do whatever the hell they want. Yeah, my ass. My ass can do what it wants to. Mission hasn't changed though. Fight the man. Fight the good fight. Maybe lose, maybe win. Hopefully win. Don't hold your breath. Can't fight town hall is what they say. Seemed like that was a lot of work to cover that in some metallic. Get that red, brown, some water, dab it around, just make some different variation. Sorry, those fireworks are really loud. I didn't think they would be that obnoxious. Then you get to your gray. You mix a little bit of your gray, a little bit of your red, and a little bit of that bronze, and make you a new color. You kind of set that up on like the flat spots in some areas. Some gunk. Just like that. And get a little bit of variation around with it too if you want. I wouldn't spend too much time on it, but you can get some on there. Alright, cool. Now once that's all did it up, you set your cardboard off to the side, get your hot air gun. Try to dry this off some. All right, now my power station or oil thing or whatever this is, this thing in my tank, it was originally colored a different color than this. So I'm gonna come in here with, this is called Mountain Blue, and I kind of let me get a little bit in the lid there so I have something to work with. Careful, there we go. I'm gonna get a kind of a flat brush, something that can cover a little bit of area, something that's soft. I don't like that one. Let me get a different one. There we go. This one will do it. And then I'm gonna kind of cover up some of the surface area. And I'm not too worried about if I do a good or bad job, because I will be coming back with some metallic black. Oh look, drama. Drama striking. Okay. Just something like that. And I don't want it to be perfect everywhere, and I don't want it to be uniform, and I want to make sure that the areas that stick out the most are the areas where the paint's been rubbed away the most. And I want this effing spiderweb off my brush. Okay. Oh, look at that. More drama. Of course, there it is. Okay. Something like that. We want this little power box thing here, or whatever this is, to have some of that blue. We don't want to cover it all up because we have that muck in there. And we want to come around on the top and dab it up a little bit. And let's work on our top pipe a little bit. Nothing too crazy or too fancy there. Just a little bit. Okay, something like that. Now I need a bright green color to go in the top here. And I'm just going to drip some paint in there. This is kind of a watered down bright green. I'm going to spread that around. Oops. Fill that in. No point in getting another brush dirty for that. I'm going to hit this with a little bit of hot air. Kind of get some of this blue calmed down. Whoa. All right. Now I'm going to get my metallic black. I'm going to get some of my cardboard here, just a little bit. That's not metallic black. That could have been drastically bad. I'm going to get that same brush I was using. And I'm going to get it in the seams, because this tank has overflowed and popped and broken over time. So it's got plenty of that. of water. Get a glass mucky. Cool. Okay, something like that. Then we're going to pull this off to the side. We're going to hit this with the air gun again. Before I hit it with the air gun, I want to get some super glue. There's some spots that I'm worried are going to come apart. So I'm going to get some glue there. Just let it drip down the side and make little puddles. I'm not going to make a big show of it. This will add some permanency to some of these parts. And we'll air gun this bad boy one more time. I'm going to put some super glue up in that hole, because that might be good or bad. There's the last of the super glue from that jug. Let's sprinkle something in there. I have some fall colored flock, which could be nice in there, maybe. I don't know. Okay. There. Holy shit, that must be the finale. Now, personally, after you're completely done letting this dry, I would do a very light silver dry brush over the whole thing. But it's definitely not necessary. You could totally throw this on the table right now if it was dry, and it would do everything you needed to do. It would look nice, and it would be everything you wanted it to be. I'm not even going to clear coat this most likely. I'm just going to let it dry this way and leave it go. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all that happy crappy that helps the channel grow. And check out the Discord and the website. Those are linked in the description. There's also a 25% discount code for your first month of Dungeon Swag minis down there if you're interested. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.